Something happened between me, M28, and my cousin, F36, and I'm not sure what to do. Please, I'm not looking for comments on how fucked up this because I know, but I really need advice and there is no one else I can turn to. Recently my grandmother died and her house is being put up for sale. The house is in the countryside and it was such a huge part of all our childhoods and lives. All the grandkids, myself, 2 sisters and 6 cousins, decided to go and spend one last weekend at the house before it gets sold. On Saturday we all got very drunk and smoked weed and then I wake up in bed with my cousin. We were both in our underwear and nothing else. I got up to leave and she woke up but didn't really say anything other than to ask if anyone else is up. We didn't speak about it that day before we left and I haven't spoken to her since. This was last weekend. I don't think we had sex, but obviously this is still really fucked up, and to make it worse she's married and has a 3-year-old child. We haven't been very close in a long time, so I'm struggling to know if I should contact her. I don't even know what I want to say to her either. The whole thing has left me feeling sick constantly. I don't know what to do. I can't talk to friends and family. I need some advice? Too long did not read. I woke up in bed with my cousin and I don't know what to do. And #X200B. Update. I messaged her and she's calling me when she finishes work later. If you were drunk enough not to remember, I doubt you were sober enough to put your underwear back on. Nothing too salacious happened. I mean, you and your cousin are gonna probably need to talk about it eventually if you're going to keep spending time around each other, even if it's just agreeing never to mention it again. I guess you haven't said if you remember doing anything sexual with her, but I'm assuming the answer is yes. Les cousins dangereux. Regret it, forget about it, and move on. The first thing I, a 30F, do when blackout drunk before going to bed is strip down and crawl into any bed. No drunk woman wants to sleep in her bra. Just talk to her about it. You both most likely just passed out in the same bed, not doing anything and not even realizing how small it was. I'm surprised by the responses here. I'd be flipping my shit too. 26M. My girlfriend, 24F, freaks out when she upsets me and it forces me to console her instead. Anytime we're in a fight and I mention that I'm upset or hurt by it, she freaks out that I'm going to break up with her and that her life is over, etc. Every time this happens, I notice that I have to put my emotions aside, and spend the next few days consoling her, and the original issue fades into the background. It's very frustrating, because it now feels like I never have a right to be upset. I feel like in future fights, the only 2 options are that I'm in wrong and apologize, or I'm in the right, get rightfully upset, but force myself to never express it to prevent her breakdowns. What is going on? This is exactly how my ex was, and it was emotionally exhausting. I continuously felt like my emotions and feelings were immediately invalidated by his extreme self-loathing reactions. Notice I said, X, it will get to be too much if you two don't sort this out. Trust me. It's manipulative behavior that can affect your future relationships as well. Nip this in the bud before you get too deep. I've known toddlers who do this. So how about, I love you but we can't talk when we are both upset? How about if we wait until tomorrow when we are both calmer and talk again then? If she continues to freak out that you will break up with her, just stay away until she acts like a grown-up. She sounds like she's manipulating you to get away with her shitty behavior. This, walking on eggshells, sounds absolutely exhausting. Can you really see yourself doing this long-term? This can be related to a history of abuse. I think you need to find time to talk about the meta-dynamic here. First, reassure her that nothing's wrong, but you want to talk about conflict resolution and you're looking for a way to strategize with her. Dude, it's a classic manipulation. She knows damn well that any time you disagree or get upset, she can get all weepy and you'll come crawling back apologizing for pretty much anything that she herself did all on her own. She's working you, dude. Simply put, man the fuck up. Trying to revive a dead bedroom after a serious auto accident. I'm 31F, my husband is 32M. A little over 2 years ago, I was in a very serious car crash. Most of my teeth are implants. I have pins and screws throughout my skeleton, and they had to amputate my right arm about halfway up the bicep. I'm still not 100% fully recovered, but I'm happy to be alive and I am making progress. Put bluntly, I want to have sex again. It's been a long time. I'm at the point where I'm healthy enough for it as long as we go gently, and my libido has recovered. It's not just the physical act. I want to reconnect with my husband, Sean. And I want to take another step of getting things back to normal after doing nothing but recover for so long. Sean has been having trouble performing. Most specifically, or at least explicitly, he blames himself for my losing my arm. I do not in any way blame him. He's my medical proxy. I was unconscious when they brought me into the hospital, and the arm was seriously mangled. It had to go if I was going to live. Whenever he looks at my stump, or some of the other scars, he doesn't visibly freak out, but he just kind of goes all subdued, and can't have sex when he's barely moving and he can't get it up. He's been seeing a therapist over it, and I'm not sure what progress he's been making, and he definitely wants to start having sex again. Or says he does. But whatever it is, he doesn't seem to be breaking through it. I'm just not sure how to help him. Or help myself really. I want this as much for myself as for him. What can I do? Can anyone advise? And #X200B. TLR. Husband blames himself for the loss of my arm and we can't seem to be intimate without him losing his nerve and his boner. Trying to revive the spark. Start small. Maybe even try something like sexting or phone sex where you don't even have to look at each other. Just get the blood flowing again. Remind each other what it feels like to think of each other in that way. Then when you feel comfortable with that, maybe try side-by-side masturbation or some other type of act that doesn't even involve touching each other, but you can still see each other. When you're comfortable with that, move toward physical non-sex acts like blowjobs or fingering, etc. Eventually the goal will be to get back to the sex you had before the accident. It sounds like both of you want to get it on. You just need to remind yourselves of what it feels like and adjust to your new physical form. Why does he blame himself? If ever there was a case for a sex therapist, this sounds like it. Everything I've read also suggests that things like mutual masturbation and helping each other masturbate is a great way to hit a reset button on desire. What type of therapist does he go to? If he is still traumatized by being forced to amputate your arm, then he might need to visit a therapist specialized in treating trauma. Talk therapy often does nothing to heal trauma. Dim lighting? Eyes closed? Maybe try going down on him with his eyes closed? Or have him masturbate in front of you? Maybe he's been doing it himself so long it's become robotic. Maybe just lay together naked without sex. Let him get used to seeing the stump while you are naked in bed. Reassure him it's not his fault and you love him. Don't rush him. Try not to add any pressure on him to perform. If he loses it, just say it's okay. We can try again later and always try again later. Don't let it go too long without trying. Ask him to abstain from porn because it can make it harder to perform. Oh man, I'm sorry you had to go through this journey. Just sending all my good wishes to you guys. I think sex therapy could help. Just talking through the mind blocks and incorrect thoughts and making way for a new, and stronger, intimacy. Purple Heart. My boyfriend slept with my best friend but he doesn't know that I know. Over the long weekend, Victoria Day, I, F24, went to visit my sister in her province. My, M26, boyfriend decided to stay home because he was behind on some schoolwork for his graduate program. I thought he was going to be spending the 3-day weekend writing a paper, but he decided to throw a party at his place. One of the guys that he invited, mutual friend, to the party posted a clip on his Insta stories. It looked like 10 to 15 people were at his house drinking, grilling. I saw the Insta story the day after the party. I called my boyfriend after I saw the Insta story and he said that he just wanted to let loose because grad school was causing him a ton of stress. I felt okay-ish after his explanation and left it alone. I was supposed to come home Monday but decided to leave Sunday to avoid traffic. On my drive home I picked up some food from our favorite restaurant to surprise him. I thought we could have a date night at home because most places would be packed or closed on Monday. When I got to his house I let myself in. He usually goes to the gym with his brother Sunday morning, so I knew he wouldn't be home. But as I'm unpacking the food in the kitchen I hear music, laughing coming from upstairs. I figured that he cancelled on his brother and decided to sleep off his hangover from the night before. I start up the stairs towards his bedroom, which is at the end of the hallway. I walk toward the door, which is open slightly, and see my F25 best friend of 15 years naked on top of my boyfriend. Her back is to me and he's lying down. There's music playing and both of them are laughing and talking. The music is loud enough that they can't hear me and I was looking through the crack in the door so they couldn't see me. I start backing away quickly and quietly so they won't know I'm there. After I leave his house I go back to my place. That same night he calls me to check in to find out how my visit is and when I would be home on Monday. I didn't tell him I was leaving a day early. I also didn't tell him what I knew. I kept it casual and light. That same night my best friend also texts me to find out if I want to grab dinner later in the week. I tell her yes and don't mention what I know. It's been a couple days since I saw them together in his bed, but I haven't said anything. I've had dinner with my best friend and didn't bring it up with her. I've seen my boyfriend and kept my mouth shut. A part of me just wants to let it go because I don't want to lose my best friend and my boyfriend. I've known her for 15 years and I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years. A part of me believes that this was a mistake and there is no need to blow up my relationships for a drunken mistake. But then another part of me thinks they might have been seeing each other for weeks or months. But then another part wonders if he took advantage of her vulnerability because she just got out of an abusive relationship that lasted 5 years. How do I approach this situation? Should I tell them that I know? I would be difficult ending a relationship with someone I was planning a future with, but I would do it. I feel reluctant to end a 15-year friendship with someone who I see as a sister. She's in a vulnerable place right now, which might explain her actions. I don't want to lose her, but I'm so incredibly hurt by what I saw. I could barely sit through dinner with her because all I could see was her naked on top of my boyfriend. TLR. My boyfriend slept with my best friend while I was away. How do I tell them that I know? And is there any way to salvage my friendship with my best friend after her betrayal? Let's be perfectly honest here, he cheated on you. There is no way of knowing whether or not this is the first time, or just the first time you've caught him. I would break up with him. Secondly, she broke your trust, and slept with the man you are in a relationship with. They both broke your trust, they could have been doing it for a while. I would drop them like a bad habit and never look back. Holy shit. Please find your self-respect. Do you really think that tart is your best friend? Or that this douche really cares about you? JFC. Stop making excuses for shitty people. They did this because they don't give a shit about you. Take that disgusting trash out. I'm scratching my head. You caught your boyfriend and best friend in bed doing the deed and you're worried about losing them? Honey, by the description, music and giggling. They are very comfortable together, in and out of bed. This can't be the first time and won't be the last. I'm sorry, but whether you want to lose them or not, you already have. They weren't thinking of you while in bed. There's no coming back from that broken trust. Who Wants to Bet Jim with his brother on Sunday mornings has been screwing the best friend for quite a while now. Both of them are snakes and you deserve better than both. If either truly cared about you, they wouldn't have slept together, and if either respected you, they would have told you about sleeping together. They don't value you. Please don't value them. Love yourself. Choose you. Block them. Seek counseling to help you heal if you can. Red heart, red heart. I feel reluctant to end a 15-year friendship with someone who I see as a sister. I'd end a relationship with a sister for doing the same thing, so why would being, like a sister, be any different? This wasn't an accident. There's no honesty or remorse from either of them. They're hiding it from you. Dump them both and replace them with decent people in your life. I'm petty enough that I'd put them on blast on the way out, but maybe you're classier than I am.